people pay taxes to the city for certain things. They want sewers, they want infrastructure, they want transportation, and these are the things that the city and the state over the years have neglected because they decided to spend money on all sorts of other things. Just last week we were reporting that the mayor is spending a stipend for those who are murderers to try to discourage them from committing future crimes. The state has given stimulus checks to those who are in the country illegally. These are the types of things that they have been spending our tax dollars on, which, by the way, they spend more money than any other municipality or the state in the nation. And so, my push has always been to push this mayor to evaluate, send some engineers out, see where we need sewers, infrastructure upgrades, catch basins, etc., and other types of flood mitigation, and then let's work together to accomplish that. But he has to stop squandering taxpayer money first.
That's been my issue. I had a friend almost 30 years ago who almost drowned in his basement apartment in Queens, the very place that flooding took place. Again, they've done nothing to improve the sewer system out in that part of New York City. They got a warning that there was a flood warning in advance, but every time it rains, the subways flood. The subway system's been around more than a century, and they don't manage it well. Jonathan Madison, jump in here.
And we actually have illegal dwellings here in the state of California as well, particularly in the Bay Area. And my question, Congresswoman, is what is it going to take this administration, what is it going to take the House to actually do something meaningful about the problem, as opposed to just putting together a whole bunch of pork in this spending bill, right, and then just justifying it, trying to justify it to say we need all these billions of dollars to address something that is actually not being addressed at the state and local level?
You're right. Those like Senator Schumer and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez have used this, unfortunately, as an opportunity to push that $3.5 trillion socialist wish list, which actually does more to push amnesty and socialism than it does actual infrastructure. Meanwhile, there's been no conversation about the need for Nancy Pelosi to bring up the bipartisan infrastructure bill so we can actually have a meaningful debate and discussion and focus on the true infrastructure needs of aging cities like New York City. So this is something that we will continue to advocate for. My concern is that they're going to try to jam both together. And as you discussed earlier in the show, you talked about inflation, you talk about devaluing of the dollar. That $3.5 trillion spending is unnecessary spending that we cannot afford at this time. And instead, we should be focusing on true infrastructure, not just sewer and infrastructure, but yes, transportation infrastructure and broadband and the things that people expect the taxpayers to actually focus on to prepare for population growth and economic growth, particularly in cities like New York that have such aging infrastructure. The subways are operating on pre-World War II condition signals, and the sewer system clearly has not kept up with not only population growth, but the development here in communities like ours on Staten Island. And so these are the things that have to be prioritized by not just the mayor, not just our governor, but yes, the federal government as well.